Namaste, Galactic Family. Welcome back to the channel, IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension. Come on into this energy update. I hope that all of you beautiful, angelic, light-filled souls are doing well. And it's finally starting to warm up a bit down here in Picola. We've had the last few days of some really delightful sunshine that has been so needed to wash and soften and transform these hard energies that have come through the second half of February. So I was a little bummed because I was planning on recording this outside, but today was a little bit of a cooler and more windier day. And so I decided to film this update in my room as I was just feeling a little more inward in the heart space. I was feeling a little bit more needing to be comfy and cozy to go through what we're going to be talking about in this update today. So this is going to be about what I have been seeing is true and intuited according to the afterlife, something that I have, you know, been giving a lot of thought to lately and have been filtering through as I have observed many things within these realms. It's not something that I have really touched on too much before in previous videos. And so it's going to be a deep dive. We're going to go through the realms of the seven higher harmonic heavens, what each one of these realms serve in terms of the purpose and evolution of the soul in the afterlife, and even in the living life as well, because some of us are accessing that in the living consciously. So it's going to be a deep dive. Be sure to put a big like on this video today. Comment down below your thoughts after watching this video. I'd really like to hear from you. And please share this video out to your friends, as I've been sitting at about 15K subscribers for quite some time, guys. So please help me make a timeline jump today. I could really use the boost. I can really use the extra support at this time. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching my channel. Your support literally means everything to me. And I just couldn't be more grateful to have you guys as my YouTube family. And so let's get into everything that I know about the afterlife. As of recently, a lot has been revealing itself to me about life after death. This has come through deep integrating session work with others, working with walk-in experiencers, near-death experiencers, suicide attempts, um, just those seeking the spiritual counsel through the awakening process. So I've really learned a lot through others, but this is also really according to my own research, my own studies, and my own personal encounters with what I have perceived as a personal death experience as well. So if any of you have ever read my bio, I personally have had a couple major near-death experiences in my life that have, you know, um, fortified my intuition and ultimately led to my awakening. But essentially, it has allowed me to gain more access into understanding these things. Um, I'm also continuously going through physical transformation. I'm continuously going through rigorous shedding cycles that do change and continue to increase my sensitivities to energy. And sometimes those levels do actually become painful. They do actually become excruciating around my heart field, okay, where I can just really feel actual physical pain around the heart due to the squeezing and constriction of energy. It can be unbearable at times. It can be debilitating at times as well. And this is something that I don't really talk about with you guys, um, as I don't wish to alarm anyone over my health or my state of being, because I feel like when you show this kind of vulnerability, it's often becomes a target for those that are, in a state of hatred or wanting to consume your energy. And so I really usually shield myself very, very much around this. Um, but I just want to be brutally honest with you guys about the highs and the lows of ascension. And there are a lot of times that I often do personally deeply struggle with maintaining a balanced state of health due to the constant shifting of intensity of the energy in my body, right? These crazy fluctuations. And so when I'm healthy and I'm at my best, this is when you guys see me. This is when I push and anchor in the coursework. This is when I do my sessions with all of you. But when I'm not doing that well, I do have to pull away sometimes. And it can take 2 to even 3 weeks at a time sometimes just to really recover from the dissension effects that are taking a toll on me. And I know many of you all as well. So if you are an HSP, which is considered a highly sensitive person, you're really going to understand what I'm talking about. I feel like the HSP label is additional to being a starseed, because there's different heightened levels, I think, of one's ability to really interpret the subtlety body. And when you're interpreting the subtlety body through a very real physical, painful experience, it definitely makes those realities real, right? It makes them very available to you to understand because you're learning about it through pain signals in the body. And that is what gives me the extra boost of awareness around these things. I'll be honest with you. It's also what makes me so highly intuitive, so highly perceptional, within the grid work, within everything that I do, because I'm literally processing frequency and vibration at a really real physical level experience. So I feel as if I'm constantly living through multi-dimensional living life death cycles simply throughout just even a monthly cycle of time. And so this has really heightened my awareness recently and deeply to the afterlife. And um, forgive me if I even start crying a little bit throughout this update because um, these realizations right now are just so powerful. And again, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to be in my room to deliver this message is I just have to be somewhere very comfortable right now so that way I can maintain that level of balance while I'm talking to you. But yeah, even right now as I say this, I'm having like heightened levels of temperature intolerance. And my structures are very holographic right now. They're very translucent. And that is letting me know that my body right now is very time transdimensional. I'm shifting. My soul is also very transient within this physicality at the moment. It's elevated and it's not fully attached to this body right now, even as I'm talking to you. So my soul is coming in and out. It's staying within my astral field, but it is coming in and out of the body. So this brings me to some big questions, right? Not that I think I'm dying, okay, but my body does seem to go through those processes in the living. And it does lead me to the questions of what happens to us after we die, right? Having such a physical experience of shifting within and out of this reality, really connecting through the higher harmonic in the 7 heavenly realms. So I asked the question, what happens to us when we die? What realms do we access entirely? What rigorous soul cleansing and purification processes happen as the spirit leaves the body truly and makes its way into the vastly unknown? I know many of us are going through these death and rebirth cycles as we have taken this experience within this living conditional mortal contract. And so I have ultimately just found overall that the ascension and the ascension biological process itself is actually a preparatory phase for the afterlife, in which many may not realize that this is one of the primary purposes of this. Okay, because we talk about ascension in a multitude of multidimensional ways, but I don't ever see a lot of people touching on what it means according to life after death. Okay, and so because I feel that ascension and ascension and even descension is one of the primary purposes is to prepare us for these phases in life. So what I've been seeing is happening is the oversoul is already preparing us for the undertaking of this journey of the beyond. So ascension is not only to awaken to truth, okay, to source, to God, and to spirit. But it's also to prepare the soul for the huge undertaking of death and rebirth. Okay, releasing of judgment, releasing of life lessons, and weight and burdens that the soul carries. Okay, so this is a real living physical spiritual process in which for many of us can be really only measured by maybe the death of the ego or the dark night of the soul, which feels like a death and rebirth, but it's not actually that entirely. Okay, it's kind of like, again, a preparatory phase. And it's marked and tattered with many soul evolving experiences that are only testing you again and again for what is beyond, asking you to be constantly keeping in mind in your heart, in your field of awareness about what are you doing now in this life to prepare yourself for the next or for full transfiguration. As I have found, the more conscious and expanded you become, the more accessibility you have to actually steer these afterlife decisions. Okay, we are, according to the desire of your true soul knowing and what you would like for the afterlife, that we are constantly being placed with choices all the time in the living that's going to steer that afterlife experience. So how many of you, as I go through my emotional state, how many of you are thinking about the afterlife? How many of us believe in life after death? How many of us believe in reincarnation, recycling, or cosmic merges of the soul that achieve a celestial heaven experience that is eternal or is limited for a return, or just complete evolution into the becoming united as and with source again? How many of us desire to be freed or actually walk with the knowing that we will at some point become discharged from the enslavement of the physical realm, the physical body density pain, the suffering and shackles of intercarnational karma, or added karma from this life to be lifted? Okay, again, all of the burdens of the souls that come in with that karma, with the bondage on the soul, okay, literally bound and gagged, literally contracted, inscribed, literally maybe even merged with and disincarnated or a dismembered soul, okay, knowingly or unknowingly. It is one of the greatest mysteries of our entire existence. How much of it do we truly know? I have found that even the most spiritually awakened do not exactly have precise knowledge around this. And we have bits and pieces. We have fragments of the truth. Okay, this great life and death mystery that rules our dream time, it rules our astral travel time, our waking time, every realization that you have from fear to bliss, our internal judgments and condemnations and convictions of the soul. It rules our moral compass. That moral compass that you have where you decide what is right and what is wrong inside you. that's ruled by life and death, that's ruled by the angel of death. I didn't realize this so much until the other day, that it's ruling our entire integral field of awareness. That's how powerful it actually is, how much it's a part of our every living experience. Everything in this life ultimately is dictated by what we will become when the physical body is no more. So apologize, you guys. I'm very emotional today, and I'm trying very hard to keep it together. It's just that these things they feel very monumental on me, to deliver this message today, to define these realms for you guys, because there's so much hatred, there's so much anger, there's so much chastisement, there's so much judgment in the world. Okay, there's so much wanting to control and dominate and hurt others. Okay, so I feel like it's important to bring this information forward. I'm really going to break down what these heavenly realms do for the soul. And for some of you, this information it's the hope that you're going to need. Okay, it is the fortification of the inner resilience of your soul, in which you need to know. So if you found this video today, just know that it's not by mistake. Okay. So I personally have been, wow, this is one of the most emotional videos I think I've ever made. I've been spiritually awakened on a higher level of gnosis and consciousness for about 10 years now. And I'm still combing through a lot of this, realizing more. I have the ability to access and channel much of the mysteries within the higher and lower astral, the causal, the angelic, the holographic, the planetary grids regarding to my own psychic depth perception, my own higher self, my own connection to source, my own avatar consciousness, regarding to what I interpret psychically in others according to this life and past, all of these things, right? Using all vast aspects of my intuitive and mental cosmic mind abilities. But the afterlife seems to be where there are greater heavenly seals that can only truly be accessed when one goes through the actual undertaking of accessing the divisions and series of domes that will be a part of the processing of your soul, of my soul, of our soul, okay, for what is truly becoming the eternal. Because ascension, again, this process is about transfiguration into becoming the eternal Atom, okay, which is one of the heavenly realms. So having that said, I do believe that we have more choice, more control, more understanding of this than we realize. And I want you to have this realization today. I want you to have this knowing that you have every choice. Okay, no matter what's happened in your life, no matter what you've done, okay, no matter what, okay, you are gonna have choice, you're gonna have redemption. I had seen through one of my near-death realizations and processes that I had of death, okay, where I went through a deep death transformation, basically. The soul and the heart gets to a point in that process that it is asked a question. It is asked a question, and it is given one gift. It's given one gift. It is asked, what is it that the heart truly wants? At that moment, everything zeroes into the heart. And you're asked, what does your heart want? This one wish is ultimately granted at passing. I have wondered to myself if this is because of the contract of life on this earth that we take, that we're given a gift, that we get one precious heart-filled reward in return for serving this existence. And when we get to this point, whatever that wish entails, okay, it's going to be known by you. You will know in that moment exactly what that is, because the heart will reveal. There will be no hesitation when you're asked. The heart always knows its truth. For many of us, I do believe that these answers are fulfilled around our loved ones in this life. Which currently I do have a loved one in the process of passing at the moment. So that's on my heart as well. And they said that they actually seen me there in spirit form, that they've started to, I guess, access the spirit realm more. So they've been starting to actually have visions of me being present when I'm not. But when we get to this point, you know, no hesitations asked. And I think that this question comes around our loved one in this life. Okay, that answer dictates your choices in the afterlife. Will you return? Will you go to what is considered a celestial paradise? Or will you have to work through fire to burn away burdens, mistakes, and heart convictions? I don't subscribe to heaven and hell necessarily, okay? The hell realms are not what you think they are, and I'm going to explain that. Overall, again, this is why healing in this life is so, so important. This is why awakening and ascension and ascension in this life is very important to process and to go through that, because it's preparing the soul for a higher level of afterlife evolution. Okay, those that don't awaken and have ascension, they're not given as many choices, okay, because the heart is also blocked. The heart is not fully aware. The heart hasn't opened. Okay, so when that unconsciousness is not being dealt with, it does limit one's ability to choose in the afterlife. So just keep that in mind. I have also seen in session work that many aspects of the higher soul and spirit are already accessing levels of the ordering of what is considered a paradise or a heaven, right? We're going to talk about the 7 higher heavens today, but the 7 higher heavens are being accessed in the living and accessing them right now. This is why I have said that we are already preparing for it now unconsciously. The Oversoul visits the realms to do work in the living. As you will visit them, you will visit the 7 higher heavens in the afterlife as well. Okay, this is conscious for some, not for many, but for most, they are inevitably unaware it is happening now in the living flesh. I have seen some oversouls working in the 1st heavenly realm. I have seen some oversouls working in the 4th realm, and so on, going there to assess their convictions to help them stay mostly good throughout their life. Or some oversouls actually go up there to take refuge for their suffering. Okay, as if these realms are in a constant state of communication and accessibility with the oversoul. This is where your oversoul actually develops that moral compass and that moral gauge. It goes to the heavenly realms to get that wisdom. Okay. As some of the grid worker community may know, there are actually vortice points or Stargate locations on the Earth that you could call them like an opening point that's going to connect you into that stairway to heaven. Places such as the Niagara Falls, mountaintop peaks in Sri Lanka and the Himalayas, special places in the Sahara Desert. Similarly, like gateways to what would be considered Shambhala, which is actually in one of the realms of the 7 heavens. These are earthly points that connect you to the stairway to heaven access points, and then connect you into the 7 higher heavens. So there is a structural order into getting here, and there are gate systems in which soul river lines in which the soul uses to get to these gateways and to these access points to access the stairway to heaven, to access the 7 higher harmonic fields that represent the density levels in which process and purify the soul for their next destination. If the soul has been released of the deepest judgment, or what could be considered sins, which I don't like to use this word, okay? Because it indicates a punishment is warranted. And when I do not feel this is necessarily true, not even for those that commit, the most heinous crimes, because it's according to their own visitation into the heavenly realms, the development of their own moral compass. You ever notice somebody that does a lot of bad deeds and doesn't get reformation, doesn't get karma, is able to continue to walk in that path? There's reasons for these things. Regardless, this particular realm is designed for learning. This entire earthly realm and all of the heavenly structures in which our soul must attain, the here and the after, okay, is designed for evolving the soul. I like to just say that sins are more so-called immoral acts that are considered to be a transgression against divine law. Okay, it's then equated to convictions of the heart. Okay, so a lot of this is self-conviction, ultimately self-judgment, and undealt with checking and balancing scales of the heart. Hence why the Egyptians, okay, the ancient Egyptians, the Book of the Dead, they talk about the weighing of the heart, the scales, Mot, Anubis, all of it. I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar of that story, those processes that they talk about in ancient Egypt. Now, if the person has committed several of these types of acts against divine law, it still does not necessarily mean that that person rots in a hellfire, okay? Rots as a sinner, as a disbeliever, okay? And in purgatory indefinitely, okay? This is a soul entrapment and fear program of religious Templars to control, to promote archon agendas, to promote patriarchal domination and control, king of tyranny, forced breeder programs, hybridization programs, false negative alien god invasions, perpetration and fear of the wrath of angry, jealous, and envious gods. I have also come to see that these realms of hellfire and even purgatory, even these realms, these are also soul purification and cleansing processes. Okay, that people fear, right? Because they fear cleansing that soul. They fear having to look at the immensity of what their life has attained, what they've been through, the choices that they've made, the mistakes they've made. It's a scary thing. But even what this condemned realm, this fallen realm is, and we talk about this in the Goddess Spirit Warrior course of the battlefield and what it all consists of in terms of negative orbs of consciousness, those that are walking the fall path, all of this, archons, entities, all of it. These are all consciousness and spirit fields that are evolving, just doing it in a different realm. Okay, a more painful realm, a more deeper purification and cleansing realm. Even within a purgatory field, the lesson of the soul can be attained. Forgiveness and mercy that the soul desires can be attained, and then it can be released again from these realms to access the stairway to heaven and be on its way for deeper purification and deeper life review. I've been finding that even the afterlife processes are still most merciful, all of them, in the sense that, again, it's a learning process for the soul. It's an undertaking for the spirit, which is precious, regardless of what's done in the physical. Not everyone assigned to what is considered a hellfire, a fall path, a quantum space dust path, or assigned to heaven, or whatever however you feel about this, going back to a celestial body, whatever it is, not everyone who's assigned to a realm is going to stay there forever. Even purgatory, even what is hellfire. This is, again, this is fear. The wrath of God is an illusion. Okay, it's an illusion in which has been built into the programming of the fall of man and sustained in the realms of jealous and envious God wars that exist within particular domains in the earth, spirit, human, mental realms, earth mental realms, because the controllers know the more guilt, shame, fear, chastisement that the soul contains through self and societal conviction, religious conviction, Templar conviction, the more opportunity there is in harvesting entrapment of the soul for reincarnation within the afterlife traps. Something I will get into in this update, because we do need to talk about that. There's a lot of them going around. You may have heard of some of them. What is perceived as hell or hellfire is actually a deep cleansing realm. For those that have chosen the fall path due to fall programming, deception tactics, and archon deception strategy, those that have been created accountable to evil, those that have been created to be used as a pawn through and for the forces of evil, and for those that also require deeper levels of purification. It's just that simple as well, too. And then will ultimately be accessing the stairway to heaven after punishment, okay? Ultimately, reparation on the soul has been mended. Okay, it's about reparation. It's about restoration. It's about receiving the wisdom. It's about clearing. One of the deception tactics of the fall programming is to fool you into believing that Satan, satanic ritual abuse, Luciferian, Tothian, Leviathan, Cthulhu spirits are fallen. Okay? I'm not saying that they're good. I'm not saying that they're working on the behalf of the light, but I'm also not saying that they fell. Okay? This is entirely misguided and has been completely implanted according to crucifixion implants and wounding according to Judeo-Christian traditions that have even marked their way into the perceived God, sovereign, and free communities. Okay, I see people talking about fall this, fall that, fallen everything, fallen angels, fallen angelics, the Galactic Federation communities, all of it. I'm going to say, to support this, all that was in which was created from the beginning as it was meant to be. Nothing ever fell on this earth. Yes, there was invasion, there was attacks, there was evil, there was this, there was that. It already existed. Okay? No angel has ever fell. No angel has ever separated from light. Makes me emotional. They were created as light, and I feel like I'm a messenger right now. I feel like I'm delivering the word of source. This is what's coming through me right now, you guys. All angels are held within the merciful field of source. The angels are more plentiful than the manifestation of evil in the entire universe. You guys have to remember, believe, hold this as your knowing, as your hope, meaning more good has ultimately been created than evil. This is why, regardless of our suffering and challenges in this battlefield timeline and dimension, we are supposed to accept that this is what this realm serves, the duality of light and dark. We are not to accept an easy life, but to inherently understand that the greatest good always prevails regardless. Each perceived devil, entity, Satan, Luciferian, jinn, was already created immediately accountable to its blueprint. They never fell. This is a deception tactic of fall programming. There was never any falling that occurred. This is what they implanted in Atlantis This is why so many people are suffering. This is why so many people believe that they're bad, while they're accountable to something that they're not. They did this intentionally to sever you from your light. This is one of the greatest deception strategies that holds control over humanity. Severs you from the outweighing of goodness that exists. I really want to dig deep into proving this Atlantean fall programming inception. It's currently one of the main things that's on my heart right now to give to you guys. I'm going to really be working on that in future updates. It's just still all revealing itself to me. If you guys have any good text or a direction you think I should look, drop it in the comments. If you have come across anything regarding fall programming. But just as fire elements serve in this realm, in the afterlife, it serves as well. Just like you feel that warmth from the fire when you light that candle or you do the fire pit in the backyard. It is there to transmute. It is there to transform. It is there to cleanse. It is there to purify. It is there to restore. It is there to prepare the soul's flight into the realms in which serve further and deeper life review. So in actuality, all beings on this earthly plane should be comforted in the fact that even the afterlife, no matter where you are in your choice of beliefs, you are good. These realms were divinely created to serve your best interests, like a child that has been reprimanded for their mistakes, okay? But is not demonized, is not hurt. It is not held in eternity of suffering. The fall path, the sinner path, in which again, I don't like those terms, also serves as the same. It means the soul itself has more lessons, more gnosis, more wisdom to attain in the godly source field, okay? And each of these realms, the soul is working through life review, conviction in the heart, words spoken by the tongue, and acts done unto the self and others. So once this purification and cleansing process happens, whether the soul is assigned to go into the realms of fire, okay, fire is also used at the point of incarnation. Okay, so fire, through the sixth heavenly realm, which we'll discuss, it also uses fire in that realm as well. So we'll get into that. So I want to really go over each one of these 7 heavenly realms with you guys. I want to define this with you. I'm going to show you a picture. It's not the best picture, but it was a picture that was done by Michelangelo, and it's called The Ordering of Paradise. It's not like the best graphic design, but it's enough to really kind of define what I need to share with you. So let's look at that. And I guess Michelangelo he painted the Sistine Chapel, and he drew the picture with the fingers touching where God's touching the human. Okay, right? Like I feel like this is the moment we're having right now. Like I'm touching you guys like this. Okay, I'm like an intermediary portal passageway for you to understand inside of these heavenly realms. Okay, and how you're already working with them again. So this 7 heavenly realms, they stretch from the earth grids into the celestial firmament, and then from there are 500 light years from the 7th sky. Okay, so we're on eternal time when we're looking at how big this is. You have the first heavenly realm. Okay, I guess it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this, I think, is the 7th realm up here. We'll say that this realm here is the first. Okay, there's processes. Again, this may even be some of the realms here of the purgatory or hellfire or even shadow, which there is a lot of deception in this. So I'm going to go through some of that trickery once we get through this. But the seventh heaven, so we're looking at the first realm, is made of the primordial universal waters. Okay, the waters of the firmament. It's said to be the heavenly domain of the original mother mitochondrial self, the original Eve, and the original atom. This realm is the most perceivable quantum heaven, and all the angels have access in this realm. All the celestial angels permanently reside here. All the stars in the galaxy reside in this realm. This realm is considered the celestial heaven. This is the main realm that most of us with expanded spiritual abilities, starseeds, light workers, and the 144,000 twin souls do have conscious access to. I am constantly in and out of the first heavenly realm consciously. This realm is to prepare the soul for universal wisdoms in the living and the afterlife, conscious and unconscious life review, and upgrade the soul to its purpose and mission. If you truly want to anchor your purpose and mission in this life, you must be able to attain the first heavenly realm in the living, in the conscious. Again, this is what your ascension preparatory phase for the afterlife process, biological processes prepare your soul and your body for. This heavenly realm is aiding the living the most in all emotional and spiritual matters. And many beings, oversouls, access this realm consistently. So if you're not aware that you're accessing, you're doing it in your dream time, you're doing it in your astral travel, you're doing it unconsciously somewhere. But the soul is most likely visiting this realm for counsel. Then we have the second heavenly realm. Okay, going to the next level. This is the Christ realm. Yes, one of the heavenly realms is a crystal star, cosmic Christos unity consciousness realm. So when you have Christ consciousness embodiment, you have attained this second realm of heaven consciously. Again, most of the collective is not doing this, not able to do that. They're not there. Some souls in the afterlife, when they go to this realm, they actually meet Christ here. This is the realm of Christ. He is said to be seen here. He is said to live here. You also can meet and have counsel with other ascended masters. It is a portal gateway to and from Shambhala and the Syrian sun. It is where simultaneous 12 planetary time cycles in the triune of universes all merge. All solar logos, all Buddhic, all nirvana mind fields. A very prestigious heavenly realm. It is an all-encompassing, immaculate heaven. I've seen it's made of white pearls. Okay, I've seen white pearls in this realm, diamonds, mini garden worlds, grapes. I don't know why grapes, but lots of viney grapes. Maybe this is what it is for me. Maybe it's what it is for you as well. But this is the heavenly realm that dissolves the soul of burdens placed upon it from its human experience beliefs. It's a very important realm. Dissolving. This realm will dissolve your crucifixion, right? This realm will dissolve your persecution on an energetic level of the collective. This realm is where all false beliefs and condemnation dissolve, and the soul is cleansed and cleansed and cleansed again and washed and washed and washed from its impurity. This one has direct connection to our sacred heart space, the birth of the Christ within. It's a very sacred realm. Then we move up to the third realm. Okay. This is an interesting realm. This is a realm that I have seen is made of iron, which consciously and unconsciously in the living. It's serving the discharge in the blood and water. But this realm is where the angel of death is residing. Okay, so this realm is accessed mostly unconsciously to the living. Okay, so this really truly is an afterlife realm. Some oversouls are going up here. If the oversoul is visiting, okay, unconsciously in the living, it is going there to weigh out its morality code conduct. It is going there to do moral check and balance systems. It is going there to do integral field recharging, to keep the soul mostly good throughout their life. People who have strong accessibility to the third heavenly realm are the people that really, really work to do and serve the light. Okay, serve the good, because their oversoul is going here and is getting the reinforcement of good. However, many visits one makes here can sometimes be reviewed to show good effort throughout their life as well, kind of like getting in good and a good standing with the angel of death, kind of like showing good effort and deed of the soul, reminding the oversoul to keep the human straight on their path. This realm also handles evaluations of the burdens of the soul right after death. Okay, so what one might call a judgment day, the judgment day, the time of judgment, measuring the weight of the heart. And then this realm is what distributes the soul as needed for upgrades. Okay, again, serving its best interest. Then we move to the fourth heavenly realm. This is a solar realm, but it's also where the angel of tears reside in this realm. There's a water element to it as well. It flows from the abode of the mercy of Source. Okay, how Source is the most merciful, Source is the most compassionate, the Source is the most loving. There's an abundant river that flows through this heavenly realm of paradise. In this realm clears the deepest layers of suffering that the soul has carried in this life for its entire lifespan. Grief, loss, its toughest life lessons and separations. This realm takes the pain away. Okay, this is a gift granting realm. This realm aids refugee souls, displaced souls, dislocated souls, fragmented souls, broken souls, suicides, victims of crimes, and untimely departures. I see you may even have to face the angel of Saturn here. Can the angel of Saturn come forward in this realm? Where it's about the time you spent, okay, and you go through and even further reviewed, more slowly, life review, okay, more slowly reviewed life review, and according to the oversoul's experience and record keeping of that deepest life lesson review. So this realm can and will determine if the soul will need any more deeper cleansing of fire. Okay, and when I say that, I want to say torture in the afterlife does not exist. Okay, again, fall programming, fall propaganda. Torture on the soul in the afterlife does not exist. I just say it kind of passionately like that because it's important to be able to pull these hooks of the wrath of the fear out. This was seeded through the Vatican. This came through the portals of the Vatican. Okay, this came through the portals of Christendom. This came through the portals of public execution. The fifth heavenly realm. This one is considered the garden of immortality, okay, where the soul is deeper assessed for eternity. Now, this one does get often accessed by those that can really achieve the highest state of ascension in this life, okay, where they do access eternal consciousness. For those that are unable to do it, they go through the heavenly realm, and then it is considered here in the Garden of Immortality to see if the soul is able to access eternity and immortality. The soul can ultimately stay in this realm forever if it wants to. Those that have walked the path in this life with the most intention to be committed to its sole purpose and is in most alignment to its life path with the most loving good deeds and purity will access this realm right away. It's like request of the heart, life granted, life wish granted. This heavenly realm compensates for the soul's loss and hardships in its life. So it's actually redeemed for all the suffering that you endured in your life. Everything that hurt you, everything that abandoned you, rejected you, abused you. It's all redeemed in this heavenly realm, believe it or not. Isn't that amazing? We then have the sixth realm. Okay, and the sixth realm is really the realm that is around continuous cycles of life and death and rebirth without beginning and end. So this is like an Ouroboros heavenly realm, and it is from an inconstructible beginning that comes transmigrational. A beginning point is not evident, though beings hindered by ignorance and fettered by the craving are transmigrating through this one. Okay, the souls that, really had little to no self-discipline in this life. They're and a lot of the wanderers, okay, the wanderers, they go into this never-ending repetitive cycle of birth, death, okay, the domains of existence, the domains of coming back into incarnation, wandering from one life to another. Sometimes there is particular direction and purpose for this, again, with your life choices at the time of passing, but for some there is actually no particular direction or purpose as well. And this is to ultimately eventually evolve the soul beyond this, but they can get caught in these loop cycles in this realm. This is the realm that preps the soul for reincarnation if this is so chosen. This is the realm that is playing out endless cycles of rebirth. There is no changeless soul that transmigrates from one lifetime to another. Changes will always be made before that happens. Okay, recorrections, renewal. It's an intermediary realm that can hold the soul up to 49 days before being reborn. And this realm then guides the soul into the realms of rebirth. And this was something that Samarasa, okay, so, or I'm sorry, Samsara. This is also this realm comes through a deep Buddhist philosophy. It's the alpha omega 0 point connection. But yeah, if the soul is going to go into this realm and go through these processes, then it's actually led on to another set of realms. So it's then taken out from the heavenly place and it's going into the realms of rebirth, which are an entirely different order to that, which I'd like to dig into sometime as well and do an update on. Then we have, last but not least, okay, we have the highest heaven, the seventh heavenly realm, composed of the purest divine light. It is considered the emerald realm, okay, the emerald order realm, kingdom. This is the utmost realm to source, and the purest angels reside. This is the realm that is accessed through the pearly gates, okay, which you went into through the second realm. And it contains the primordial organic web of light that is pure source. In this realm, there is just being here. There is no time perception. There is a constant cosmic orgasm that's happening, constant bliss. It is pure happiness for eternity. And I do believe the soul can stay here for eternity if it was granted permission from the fifth heavenly realm, where it was considered for immortality. So there are things that can happen. There is some trickery in the afterlife. There is something called a phantom black heaven, and this is the Templar trickery of harvesting and loosh of the soul, where they have targeted the promised land and running an inversion into it. So into an antichrist reality that was originally created for Archon ranks, that was originally created for Black Sun Army generals, was originally created for creatures out of the Black Lagoon, out of the Wisa system. Okay? It was built through the universal shadow body. This comes up because I do believe this is through the beliefs of the Templars as well, that there has been trickery to us by going towards the light at death. So this is what I was talking about when I'm saying I was going to touch on some of these things that you may have heard of. You may have heard of people telling you that you're not supposed to go to the light when you die because this is going to pull you in back into a harvesting or back into a phantom black heaven where they can harvest you for loosh of the soul. I've heard this and I just wanted to touch on it. I don't actually have the answer to this concept. I want to believe that truly the process that we experience in our pathing isn't going to be hijacked by something nefarious of the shadow realms, that if we are guided to go to the light, that this truly is what it's supposed to be. We're not afraid of the light and the living. We anchor the light in our body, all of these things, right? So why would going to the light be a harvesting trap? But it is come into question. It has come into question. So there is some form of trickery around this to implant and incept fear. I think wherever this came from ultimately was a fear tactic. And I don't want to exacerbate that fear. I feel with this one, you should really use your inner guidance, your inner knowing of your soul. If going into the light is what feels like what you're supposed to do, that you were supposed to do that. I don't think we should be worrying at the point of our death and traveling to the tunnel of light if we need to hit the brakes and make a U-turn type of thing or go in a different direction, because we're not really going to know where to go, are we? Right? Like it's, again, we don't have all the answers to this. So just stay true to your own knowing. Try not to get caught up in these fear campaigns. I personally just like to banish things like this out of my field because I don't want it to exist in my framework of consciousness. But I think it is good to at least hold some awareness that there is something considered a black phantom heaven, that they're casting trickery. Also, I think it has a lot to do with soul fragmentation as well, because if a person dies suddenly and tragically and they haven't been prepared for the afterlife, they can fragment and quickly attach to another incarnating soul, okay, coming in. And this can bring in, again, soul fragmentation and soul binding that's not entirely a sovereign free will. So I would be very clear in your connection to your own oversoul, to your connection with source, that you do not consent to any of these kinds of things happening in your processes of life and death in the afterlife. All in all, you guys, the point of this energy update was to bring you some powerful messages that I think are bringing some hope, and also to remind you that this is really about deep forgiveness of yourself through your connection with God, through your connection with Source and the angels, through your connection with your own heart, your own heart convictions. It's important to find the deepest forgiveness in this life, no matter where you're at in your journey. Self-forgiveness, true honoring of self, deep self-loving forgiveness. Keep the heart light in this life. Keep the heart free of weight in this life. Fight for yourself in this life. Fight for your own self-love and compassion for yourself and for others. This should be the dominant priority. This is the way of the heavenly ways, the heavenly realms. It is ultimate compassion. That's what the second realm is all about. Take your ascension process and your ascension in this life as the greatest gift that you're being given. If you're going through awakening right now, you are being granted a gift like no other, incomparable. You were meant to awake up and ascend in this life. This is the greatest gift because you have now been given the ability to make more choices in the afterlife to achieve higher attainment of heaven. That's what you're being gifted. How miraculous is that? Don't allow, these outside dominated, rigid programs and artificial beliefs to control your inner connection to source. Don't subscribe to the crucifixion wounds and trickery of punishment. And keep in mind, this earth is soul evolving school for all consciousness, okay? Even entities and archons and demons. Okay, they're just in a different realm of that school, working through some hard stuff on the battlefield. And everything in this existence, this entire earth and the spiritual realm, was built to uphold the greatest good of your soul, of your heart, in the living and in the afterlife. It was all constructed for us, already divinely created in the way that it should be. So there is no fear here in life and death. It's just the fear of pain, and it's the fear of the unknown. But there is no fear, right? In what's going to happen after the fact. It's all divine in the way it's supposed to be here and in the afterlife. So yeah, guys, this is the message for today. Thank you for working through through those emotions as they came up and moved through me. I want to say I'm also currently running a one-time 40% off of my diamond package, which is my best package that I offer. It gets you all 5 of my sessions that I do. It's for anyone who may want to work with me through deeper soul cleansing processes, okay? Deeper purification processes through implant and seal removal, holographic blockage removal, deep chakra clearing. I can even do personal and custom sessions if the implant removal is something maybe you're not ready for, that you want to maybe do something more problem focused. All of it can be discussed and put together as a nice healing package and plan through your initial consultation. And I am running 40% off of that. It's the biggest sale I've done. I did do a one-time 50% off at Christmas, but I want to be able to help as many people as possible, and it is my best package. So the coupon code for that 40% off the diamond package is diamond40, and I'm going to leave that down in the description box so you guys can check it out. And I look forward to working with you, as every time I work with you guys, I attain more wisdom, more knowledge, and it's just such a beautiful synchronistic and aligning process that's just meant to be. And I love you guys all so much. I hope that you are having a beautiful everything as we're about to come into March. I hope you had a beautiful full moon, and I will see you on the next update. Namaste and peace be with you.